Hello and welcome to the Stock Planner channel. This is the second part of a two-part series concerning picking stocks that trade well with your indicators or strategies. Picking stocks that trade well with your indicators or strategies. In the first part, we've seen that Sir Smedley, who had some experience, 5,000 and a job, but little time, so he decided to swing trade, picking the swings in the market in order to make some money. As stock prices went up and down, he tried to pick a strategy that would identify the peaks and valleys in order for him to take advantage of the swings in the market. Sir Smedley chose the RSI strategy and the MACD strategy to do that. They work quite well. Then he chose stocks that he was familiar with, 187 of them, for any reason whatsoever, but mainly that he knew them, and put them on a list. And after he had that list, he found out, using an algorithm and program, OmniBroker, he found out which stocks traded well with his chosen strategy. Once he had that list of 58 stocks that traded well with his RSI strategy and the 30 that traded with the MACD, he actually executed a system, and it was a winning system. He found out that having the right stocks and the right indicators gave him a chance to have winning trades and make some money. Choosing the right stocks was vital to his strategy. Now, in the second part, we have Smedley, who has $5,000, but no job, plenty of time, and doesn't want to invest any kind of money in a program that will help him do it. He wants to do it on his own for free. That's the magic word. Sounds like my brother-in-law. Smedley uses the same strategy as Sir Smedley. In other words, he uses a swing trade strategy and using the RSI to capture the swings in the market. But now he needs to come up with this list of about 50 to 100 stocks that he knows about so that he can go ahead and play the game. We're going to use FinViz to get the list. Let's have a look at FinViz. By the way, FinViz has got the magic word too. It's free. This is FinViz. It's a free scanner. By the way, TradingView has a very good free scanner too. Outstanding. Anyway, this will get you started. We want to have stocks, good stocks that are trade over $5. We want profitable companies. So the forward PE and the PE should be greater than 0. Analyst recommendations greater than buy. Needs to have enough volume so that it can get in and out. I trade options, so I want it to be optionable, and I want it to be shortable. In other words, I want to go both ways because I'm a swinger. And you want to have institutional ownership because that way it gives some momentum. Anyway, this will get started, and it gives you about 400 stocks. The next step you must do is go down the list, and you should see some names you recognize: Amazon, Google, Shopify, Netflix. So if you know who John Deere is, write it on your list. If you know who Netflix is, write it on your list. Get about 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Sir Smedley has 187 on his list. All these stocks you need to be a little familiar with, or you know the name. Now, once you have that list, you can do other things with it. So once I have a list, I put this on once I have a list on a paper, I transfer it to TradingView so that I can go do some analysis in the near future. So here's my list that I'm interested in. Amazon's on the list, Baidu. These are all names that I know of. Costco is not on the list, but it's one that I'm going to analyze as well. So it would be on this list here. So let's just say that there's 100 stocks in this list. We have to do some analysis. And to do that, we are going to use this program called TradingView, which is, again, free. You can have three different indicators, and it's good enough to do some analysis. I like it. You should start using it. So to reiterate, we have a strategy, we have a list of stocks, and now we want to go ahead and analyze and see which stocks trade best with our indicators or strategy that we're going to use in order that we have a winning system. We want to win. So we're going to use this program called TradingView. As I said, it's got the magic word. Smedley likes this. It's free. but it's going to take some work. Remember, I have found out through a program that I wrote and paid for that there's 58 stocks that trade well with my 187. You need to find out how many stocks trade well with your list, your new list that you created with FinViz. Let's get started. First, you have to set up TradingView, and you would set it up with the indicators that you're using, that you would use, moving average, crossovers, or whatever. This is my MACD indicator, and I'm using the Zero Zag MACD Plus, and it has some more features to it, which I zeroed out or whited out, so that I just get a simple moving average type thing with little dots, red dots or green dots that show me where to buy. It's out there. It's free. It's free to use. And then I used a zigzag, the double zigzag with HHLL. This is the double. And lastly, I've used a stochastic RSI. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how I set it up, but I used the stochastic RSI and the RSI with 9, and I set up the zigzag with a 7, percentage of change 7. I think the default is 5. You can use 5. Everybody uses 5. Now for the hard part. You have to go down your list of 100 stocks that you just found on FinViz and see which ones trade with your indicator. Let's look at Apple. If we were using the MACD, this one says go short. That would have not been a good deal. This one says go short. That would not have been a good deal. This was short. That would have been a good deal. So you have two losses and 1 win so far. Now you can go ahead and put some other rules to it, and like mine is I never go short if the zigzag is going long, if the green or the blue is long. Sometimes you don't have this dark color, the primary. You have only secondaries. Right now, zigzag doesn't know what it's doing. I like that when it doesn't know what it's doing, because it knows it's perfect every time else, because it looks 2 bars in the future. Anyway, we got 2 losses, 1 win. There's a short there. That would have been another loss for a little while, and then it would have been a win. So we'll count it as a win, 2 and 2. And here's a buy, and that would have been a loss as well. So, hey, Apple does not work good with the MACD. Let's see how it looks with the RSI. Now, remember, my RSI rule is to go short, you need to be above the 70 and come around and start crossing back down again. And the zigzag, after 2 bars, after it changed regime, needs to be pointing the same direction. So let's go. This one here is it started going down below. It's 1 bar after the thing has changed. We could wait another bar the next day, and that would have been a win. Let's say this is an up, and the zig is green, and it would have, you could have won on that 2 or 3 days. And then likewise, this is a zig down, and you would have took it down, and it would have won after, if you held it 10 days. This is an up, and that would have been a loser. So with 3 winners and 1 loser. You can take it or leave it. Let's do another one, Baidu. These are all shorts. They would have been losers unless you had the rule about the zigzag in there. Then you would have took them. And just say you had that rule, that would have kept you out of this trade here. So if you had a rule that the zigzag was going to control your trades, you would have not took any of these. And also, if it was close to the zero line, you would not took them either. Anyway, the MACD doesn't look like it works too good with Baidu. Let's see how this looks. Well, you can't take that trade. You could take any of those low ones. But let's see what you can take. You could took that upward. That's great. You didn't get, by the way, you didn't get no buys over here. But you could have took this one, and would have been a terrific winner. You could have took this one. That would have been a terrific winner too. You could have took that one, and it might have been a little winner. So I do think Baidu should be on the list. So what you do is you go down through all your stocks and go through manually the indicators that you choose. If it was an EME cross or something like that, you test out your system visually and manually and see which ones trade. You just pick a few. You can't, go back and count 100, but and try to figure out your win rate. If it wins more than it loses, add it to your list. It's manual, but hey, it's what you got, and it's REE. So once you have a list of stocks that trade well with your strategy, then it's a matter of just looking for that single to come and turn on. Each morning, you go to your trading view and quickly scan your RSI stocks. I don't have any because I don't do it this way, but quickly scan your stocks for RSI, and there you got one. You don't have one here. You don't have one. RSI is above. It just crossed over here. Is your zig okay? Yep. You have a minor zig, and you also have a MACD. That might be a good buy for tomorrow. Baba, scanning just for the RSI. It didn't give us one. This one did. MACD crossed over not too far back. Baidu, that might be worth a buy on Monday. Now we have this stock here that's above. It's 70. RSI says, hey, that's fine. I crossed over. I'm thinking it's going to come back down. Comcast has been on a straight line. It may or may not be true, but the zigzag certainly knows what it's doing, and I would not go short at this time. So once you've chosen your strategy, got your list, scanned it for the best stocks that perform well within that list, and then it's a matter of just looking at your indicator and seeing which ones are turning on and turning off. And it's an easy manual scan. If you're swing trading, you would do this once or twice a day. You don't need to do it every 5 minutes because you got a job. You can't really. Most people have a job. Smedley doesn't, but he also could do this for the 15-minute time frame, the 4-hour time frame. You could do this whatever you've tested it out with. But mainly I look at stocks in the daily and do it once or twice a day, usually around 10 o'clock, and then also at around 3 o'clock, so I can get the last bit of buys and sells, whatever I want to do. So this is how you can go ahead and get a list of stocks that trade well with your system for free. Sir Smedley has a algorithm that he runs against a database several times a day and gets a report on which stocks to trade. This is an RSI singles that are supposed to be good out of his 187 stocks. And this is, by the way, this is an actual report for Monday. And it said Oracle's not looking so good. I have to take a look at that. And it's also recommending that maybe look at the options. It's just something I programmed in. But Smedley, he has to do it manually. He has to go down his list manually and check for his singles instead of getting a report. It's not really too bad. So, especially if you're just starting out, you really should start out with a list of 10, 15, 20, 30, and build that list up to 100 of stocks that you know and trade well with your system. It's a matter, a lot of people say this, you really need to know before you go out and buy what you're buying. This beats the heck out of being logging on and saying, well, what should I trade today on some social network? And they say XYZPPP. Well, you've never heard of those stocks. Even a recommendation like GameStop. GameStop is a company that's on the down. There's no reason for it to trade up. Anyway, I'd rather do my own due diligence, know companies and know about them, and know what the directions they're going, and get a good feel for it, and do some other fundamental analysis, which I'll show you over time. But this I think beats the heck out of asking somebody what's everybody trading today. This way, you know what you're trading. You have a list of 100 stocks that you will trade, and you know what you're going to react, how you're going to react to it when something happens, and you know which indicators work best. Anyway, enough talking. I hope this helped. Please watch the first video, and I'll be prepared to answer questions. I've got a new microphone coming. The video should start improving. I plan on redoing this video in about a month and make some improvements based on your peer reviews. Your peer review is important to me. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Catch you on the flip side.